A very good morning to all my friends here, myself Amit, and let us start the Hindu analysis for 10th of October 2020. So let us begin with the first section of the day, which is thought of the day. So let us begin with the thought of today, friends. Today I have taken a thought from Rig Veda. So it was highlighted by Mr. Modi, and he says that India's openness to new ideas is manifest in the Rig Veda itself, the oldest document in the world. Okay, the oldest document in the world. Okay, so it says that let the noble thoughts and light come to us from all sides. It indirectly tells about that our senses should be open, eyes, nose, ear, they should be open to take thoughts and light from ideas from all sides, so that we can enrich our experience of life, so that we can live fully, so that we can decide we can have a better choice. Okay, we have a better decision making power, we can have better experience to think. Okay, so it is all about the information that we are getting. Today we have entered this information age, where we talk about that information or data is the new oil, right? It is the raw material for all those digital technologies emerging, like big data and that Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural networking. All those have this data or information as the raw material as the beginning, and you can see this thought indirectly points out to this revolution. So you can say that we have realized this thing at the very early stage of our civilization, that information is the key for the survival, for the better living standards of human. Okay, so let's move ahead now. So today the next section is all about the significance of the date, and today we have World Mental Health Day. 10th of October is celebrated as World Mental Health Day. This day was started by this World Federation for Mental Health initiative. They took in 1992. The purpose was for the mental health education, awareness, advocacy against the social stigma that comes with the mental health, right? And this year they have put the theme that to move for the mental health, increased investment in the mental health. And if you know about India, in India we have this problem of mental health, which is very much visible in the number of suicides, which are actually increasing day by day. The number of suicides, as per this NCRB data, recently showed that in this lockdown and with compared to in 2019, recently they released the report of the year 2018, and they showed that the year 2019-18, in 2019 the number of suicides compared to 2018 was more, and especially among the women and SC/STs. This shows that those who are in the marginal section of society, they are more prone to depression, they are more susceptible to the mental health issues, especially given the women when they were struck during the lockdown. This tendency of suicide and domestic violence increased because of the rising tensions, right? So the whole thing is that we need to work together, we need to collaborate, world need to do a kind of create a better situation. And also a lot of depression cells have been formed. There have been this anti-suicide committees, and this depression cells have been there with helpline numbers where one can call if they found someone with suicidal tendencies. They have been these helpline numbers. Okay, so recently we saw that ex-CBI chief Ashwini Kumar, he committed suicide. Then one of the famous actors, Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput, he also committed suicide. So many high profile cases are being there now, especially under this ongoing pandemic, which has created more mental stress than earlier because of this problem of job loss, or the isolation which people have suffered, or because of this paucity of money, okay, or because of homeliness. They are alone in home, without job, without money, and this is creating more stress in the life of people. So the whole thing is that WHO is being kind of collaborating this year, and they are aiming to get the government and employers to invest in the mental health, so that more people could be taken out from this distressed condition. Otherwise, we know that they might go towards drug. You might have seen that drug addicts are the cases of drug trafficking in India, they are increasing, involving the high profile cases from both Bollywood and this Karnataka film industry. Okay, or you can say Tollywood, the South Indian film industry. So the cases of drug trafficking have been increasing. So we need to make world a better society. We need to remove the stigma related with the mental health. We need to ask people to come out if they have any problem with this mental health. And for this, India also has created this Mental Health Act 2017. Mental Health Act 2017, where India has indirectly provided for right to aid, medical aid for mental health. Right to mental health kind of thing. Okay, right to mental health. Though it is indirectly provided, they have been provided with voluntary that electrocution. You know, it is kind of electrical therapy, the current therapy for those with mental health. So it has provisions for that. It has provision for rights of the people who are suffering from mental health. It has provision for right to proper treatment, and various other provisions has been provided in under this. Okay, so we need to think about this. We need to work on this together. Okay, and do help people, do cheer them up, and live with a happy life. Okay, so have a smiling face, because problems are there in everyone's life. So you need to come over your mental tendencies. You need to help each other. Now coming with the news, starting with the news, when Mr. Shashikant Das, Shaktikanta Das, chairman of governor of RBI, sorry, he has predicted that 9% decline, 9.5% decline, which is expected for Indian economy or GDP this financial year 2021 would be there. He says that this contraction for this year would be there, but he is very much optimistic that by the end of the quarter 4 for this financial year, Indian economy may take to positive growth, right? He has said that the repo rate or the other key policy rates have remained unchanged, and he has reiterated the resolve of both the governor of RBI and the government that they are taking every step for the economy for mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic's worst impact, and with the accommodative policies they have, so that the conditions could revive with as soon as possible. Okay, so accommodative stance towards the growth will be extended to next year. They will work on the policies aspects, subsidies this year and even the next year. Okay, then risk weighted asset for home loans have been rationalized to spur job intensive realty sector, because we know recently there was data that the construction sector has contracted by 50% in the first quarter, and Indian economy contracted by 23.9% for the first quarter for 2021. So this shows that yes, negative trends have been there, but the data from September's economic indicators show that economic revival has been there. We are moving toward, there have been silver linings, and we are on the right direction, right? So the key rates have been unchanged because high headline inflation have been high there, and because of this high inflation, they have said that they are forced to keep this rate unchanged, right? And then the RBI has unanimously voted in synchronous with 3 RBI members to leave the policy. Okay, this repo rate has been remained unchanged because of the high inflation rate, which has been decided in that monetary policy. Okay, Ujit Patel committee recommendations. So now let us move ahead. The next news is all about the biodiversity cheer for India, where recently released survey of Zoological Survey of India and Botanical Survey of India released on Friday, releasing the annual publication Animal Discoveries 2019 and Plant Discoveries 2019 respectively. Both of them have found a large number of species. Okay, the 544 species gives India reason to cheer during this pandemic gloom. They include this dwelling gecko Nymphasis anandani, endemic to Western Ghats, Sphaerotheca magada, a browning frog discovered in farm fields of Jharkhand, Enoplotherpus twanggenesis, found in Tawang, then a wild ginger, Amonum nagaminis, discovered from Nagaland, Kohinaju, Nagaland. Then Pteris subriana, found in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So see, all the species are not important. Though UPSC have this tendency of asking the vague questions now, they have been asking, right? Even this year there was a question and they have asked few species and you have to discover. Like 3 species were given and you have to discover of which animal they are, and answer was bird, right? So it was frog mouth, one was right, another was better. So you have to be kind of informed that what species are actually covered in the newspaper. There maybe they have found that 544 species, but at least you should know these 3 or 4 which have been covered in the newspaper. And this would hardly lead to 20 to 25 such species which you have to cover in the whole year. 20 to 25 new species and 20 to 25 old species of those which are kind of critically endangered, okay, of these kind: extinct, endangered and critically endangered. These are 3 very important groups, right? Now coming to this topic again, 368 faunal species as new to science and 160 species have been found for the first time in India of these animals, and plant 100 new 80 species of plants have been discovered, right? So the number of plant species found in India according to 2019 BSI compilation is 50,000, which form 12% of all the floral species of the world. This shows that we have quite a good biodiversity. We all know that we are among the 17 biodiverse countries in the world, and you can use this data, though this data is not very much important from the mains perspective, but yes, it is very much important from the prelims perspective, right? So let us move to the next topic. The next topic is all about the Lalu Prasad Yadav got the bail in Chaibasa Treasury case. So this topic actually I took to take you or give you the idea of the corruption in India and the allegations of corruption on Indian politicians. Okay, so Mr. Lalu Yadav has been given this bail on when the High Court has observed that Mr. Lalu Prasad has served half of the 5-year sentence awarded to him. So it is kind of under that verdict of Supreme Court, where Supreme Court said that under trials who have served more than half of their term, though it is convicted. This is a case of convicted. So still not proper conviction, but some conviction is there. So under trials who have served more than half of their term, they should be released. So I think this has been taken in consideration by the High Court and they have given him bail. So bail is only granted when the case is ongoing, right? So he is a kind of under trial then. So he has been given bail, and now with just 50,000 each deposit of rupees 2 lakh. So two deposits of 2 lakh and a 50,000 bond has been there. He was also wanted in Dumka Treasury case. So in all these cases, actually what happened, in first case he took out, there was a fraudulent withdrawal of 33 crore rupees in Chaibasa Treasury in 1992-93. So this fraudulent withdrawal was done when Mr. Prasad was the Chief Minister of Undivided Bihar. Then this Dumka Treasury fraudulent is all about rupees 3.5 crore withdrawal during this time when he was the Chief Minister, right? And this fodder scam case was also there. So the whole idea, friend, I want to tell you is about the corruption Indian leaders are involved. You know, CBI has been inspecting the cases of corruption mainly, and the conviction rate in CBI cases for corruption is only 3%. You can imagine, only 3% conviction rate. This shows that either CBI is not working properly, or the Indian leaders are quite innocent, or they are quite faithful. they are quite honest. Second, the chances of second one are quite low, and we all know that CBI has been called as caged parrot by the Supreme Court. So 3% conviction rate is kind of, we all know what is happening, right? So let us see some data. I recently gave you the data that 24% of the MPs in Rajya Sabha, they are alleged with serious crimes. They are alleged with serious crimes, and the cases against them are pending. Then 43% of the MPs in Lok Sabha, they are the cases against them of severe crime are being there in court. And this ratio of 43% has been increasing on year. Earlier it was 29% in 2009 Lok Sabha, then it rose to 34% something, 34 or 35%, and now it is 43%. That is almost half of the MPs in Lok Sabha, they are alleged with serious crimes. And recently I have also told you in one news that Supreme Court wants to expedite the cases to be heard against those MPs and MLAs, that is people representative, MPs and MLAs, right? And one more thing, in 2016 I think Lily Thomas case was there, in Lily Thomas case, and in this case that it was started that they have to disclose the cases against them, the candidates who are fighting election under Representation of People Act, they have to disclose the cases against them so that people can make informed choices. And under this case it was said that those who are convicted cannot fight election for 6 years. Okay, those who are convicted with more than 2 years of jail term, they will be banned for fighting as election for 6 years, and this has happened with Mr. Lalu. Okay, so I think that's enough fodder for this paper 2 question. Now moving on to this tree transplantation policy, so you can use this in environment as a very good example. Okay, this is to be fed in this. Okay, so Delhi cabinet gives nod for tree transplantation policy, and Delhi is the first state in India to pass this policy. So let me give you some background. China has installed first smog tower. Okay, now Delhi government is planning to install the second smog tower in the world, and this would be this would be near Anand Vihar something. So yes, the technology is different. It is being developed by Indian institutes, like earlier IIT Madras was, IIT Bombay was involved, and now I think IIT Madras would be involved in establishment of this installation of this smog tower, right? So let us see what has happened. So in construction or installation of the smog tower, many trees are to be cut. So Delhi cabinet or Delhi government has come with the idea of tree transplantation policy, in which they will work for the preservation of trees, and also they will transplant saplings, 10 sapling for every 1 tree cut. This would be the policy, and yes, plus added trees if there is space, right? So this is the policy of Delhi government under tree transplantation, where every tree cut for this smog tower installation or otherwise in other projects, they will be transplanted or replaced by 10 saplings. And the idea or the target is that at least 80% of the trees affected, this is the minimum, okay, so 80% of trees affected by the development or construction of project will be transplanted, and if there is 80% survival rate of the new transplantation, then only the payment to agencies will be made, and this will be inspected after 1 year, the survival rate, okay, and 80% survival rate is compulsory. So recently we all know that the Delhi government has started this Yuddh Pradushan Ke Viruddh, or the program against pollution. So they have taken various steps under this, like EV policy of Delhi government has been there, I have told you about this. Then tree transplantation policy have been there. Then this trouble burning policy have also come. So these policies are major policies which the government, Delhi government is trying to curb the air pollution in Delhi, especially during the winter season, right? So that's it for this one. Moving on to the next topic, friend. The next topic is all about the DRDO's anti-radiation missile, and this missile is quite very important. Okay, this missile is actually NGARM, or the new generation anti-radiation missile, developed by this defense DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. Though it is jointly being developed by DRDO, IAF, and DRDO Labs Hyderabad, IAF, HAL, and several other public and private sector enterprises. So let us see what anti-radiation missile is. An anti-radiation missile can locate and target the radiation emitting sources such as enemy radars, communication sites, and other radio frequency emitting target. In simple words, those ever objects which are emitting radiation can be detected by this missile, and it can target them with pinpoint accuracy, right? So those radars which are kind of detecting in releasing this radio frequency to detect the movement of our fighter craft or missiles or otherwise, now they can be destroyed. So this destruction could provide the safe passage to both our missiles and aircraft, right? So there is a key role. Also jammers, jammers release kind of frequency, so that they disturb the ongoing frequency in region, like internet jammers you might have heard of. So this missile can also neutralize the jammers by identifying their source, right? So platform the enemy or take out the radar station, thereby clearing the path for fighter jets to carry out offensive and prevent the system from being jammed. So there is a very much threat, and there is some enemy jammer which jam India's all systems of India. So these kind of missile can prevent these kind of jammings, right? And they will help in clearing ways for our other equipments to work in a free environment, right? So this test was conducted on the Wheeler Island as other test. Wheeler Island is in Odisha. So missile tests are basically conducted on the Wheeler Island. Then it can hit the radiation with pinpoint accuracy, and it has got the depth of 200 kilometer. And this is a very good thing here, that it can have range, it can be fired or launched from 500 to 15 kilometer altitude. That is, it can be done from land or air, and then at a speed of 0.6 to 2 Mach. That is, a fighter jet can do this. So it has got kind of range over which it can be launched, over which speed range, altitude range, and has capability of varying the ranges based on the launch condition. This gives it kind of multi-use tendency, so that it can be launched from multiple platforms, which makes it a very good weapon. Having this inter-navigation system, it uses GPS navigation and has got this passive homing head for final attack. What is this PHH? PHH is actually something that can detect and intensify and engage the target over a wide band of frequencies. Basically, it is about detecting the frequency and working over a wide range of frequencies. So PHS detected the target and measured the direction of arrival of radiation, right? So PHS is all about detecting the direction of radiation, detecting the source, and helping the missile to target the source at pinpoint accuracy, right? So that's it for this one, friend. Moving on to the next topic. So do remember the name, okay? Do remember the name. It is basically this new generation weapon. Oh, sorry, Rudra M1. The name is Rudra M1, the new generation weapon for defense. Okay, Rudra M1. So moving on to the next one, friend. The next one is all about the NCPCR on repatriation of children. So it is after Supreme Court actually recently gave orders, friend. Supreme Court recently gave orders where they directed this child care home so that children could be taken to the environment where they can grow well. So NCPCR, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, the apex body for child rights in the country, right? It said that children can better grow in familial environment, so that they can get better care, understanding nature, environment, all this they can get at the home or in the family environment. So they directed 8 states to produce children living in care homes before the local child welfare committee. You know, child welfare committee is created under the Juvenile Justice Act. So the children in these states, they should be presented or produced in front of this committee, so that these committees can take immediate action on repatriation of these child to their families, okay, or the new families. The reason being that they want these children to live with the families, okay. So it includes around 1.84 lakhs children in the care homes, which amounts to 70% of total children in care homes. But in the wake of this COVID-19 pandemic, and also the children which are sent to care homes, they are only because either they are abandoned, they are orphan, or their families are quite poor or downtrodden, financially unstable. Then only they come to this care homes, right? The problem is this either they are orphan, abandoned, or the downtrodden, financially unstable families. So then they come to care homes. So repatriation would create another set of problem, like domestic abuse of children could take place. The children could be exposed to the problems of society which their families are facing, right? There can be abuse or can be anything else. Then there can be problems like education of children would suffer, because they are coming from the background where the economic problem may be very much possible. So the thing is that their education may suffer, and they might be devoid of their basic education or other child rights. So this directive of NCPCR have been questioned by the Supreme Court recently, asking them to give a response by Mr. Justice L. Nageshwara Rao, that why such repatriation of children to their families should not be done on individual basis. That is, individual children should be asked and they should be produced before CWC, and then they can be, the new foster parents can be invited, or the old parents can be asked that whether the conditions of repatriation are suitable or not can be checked on the individual basis. Doing this in a massive manner would definitely lead to a kind of loss for many children, and this would lead to loss of future human capital that we are creating now for the future Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? Because today's children are the future of tomorrow, and if we want to reap this demographic dividend by in the next 10 or 20 years, we need to create this human capital which can provide India the standards of opportunities, the innovation, the talent that India needs. So we need to think on this. Economic Survey 2016-17 said that children's, especially the school-going children's, they are kind of best investment, low-hanging fruit which the government can take care of, because they are the one who are going to shape the tomorrow, and that also very recent tomorrow, that is hardly after 10 or 15 years, right? So they should be taken care of right now. Let us move on towards next topic, friend. The next topic is related to China slamming off Quad. So this, I have been talking about the Quad in last 2 lectures of mine. So sorry for this lecture being quite long, but I have covered various important aspects in this, so that you can get idea, you can get examples, okay, all this is important. So China slams Quad. So here you will basically get the cons. Till now you might have got the idea of pros of Quad, but here from the Chinese point of view, you can get the idea of cons of Quad for India. So China has opposed the organization or organizing a closed and exclusive cliche, because this kind of organization is basically targeted against a particular country. Especially they have said that now we are living in 21st century, and it is kind of century where interests of all the countries are intertwined. So creating of these closed organization will decline the mutual trust and cooperation the countries very much need especially in the wake of pandemic, and to revive the economic growth that the world economy is facing. So yes, because this can, you can write this in the argument against Quad. So this can be one such argument, right? Then there can be other arguments like the USA is pushing for the NATO-like alliance, especially given the elections in US, and USA is very much in favor of creating ASEAN and NATO and forcing India, or kind of they are roping India. The US is already having the military alliance with the Japan and Australia. They are supporting them. So now they are kind of roping India also to join their anti-China gang. So yes, this can be the second point in this, because India needs to cooperate with its neighbors. Otherwise, all these countries are very far away to deal with China and to come to rescue for India, which can be based on various international interest of different countries. So India might have to face the major burden, or may have to bear the major consequences of this anti-China policy. Yes or no? So let us see what it was said by Mr. The basic idea, the objective. If you want to write the objective of Quad, it has been raised by Mr. Jaishankar. He said the concerns in Quad is all about maintaining rule-based order. This is one, right? The second one is this freedom of navigation, and the third one is this peaceful resolution of disputes in the region. These are the objectives of Quad as raised by the four countries. And especially Mr. Mike Pompeo has voiced the anti-China slogans. That is something he took the name of China, while other three countries, they were kind of cautious in naming China. So Mr. Pompeo has said that they were critical of this China, and they said that the China has been aggressive in South China Sea, East China Sea, Mekong, Himalaya, and the Taiwan Straits. And this coercion and corruption of China should be handled, and for this coming together of these Quad countries is important. So I think this way you get both the idea of what Quad is up to and what anti-Quad group is up to, right? So let's move on to the next one. Friends, the next topic is related to the UN's World Food Program. Sorry for this image, I think this has been kind of missing here. And this was all about the Garba being banned by the Gujarat government. Garba being banned by Gujarat government. So this is in the view of that Jan Andolan asked by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to be cautious in the coming winter month and the season of festival, where he wants to use the low cost measures like mask, sanitation, washing hand tendency, so that this problem of COVID-19 could be settled as soon as possible. Now coming to this news, the UN's World Food Program has been awarded the 2020 Nobel Peace Prize. So the committee has been pinpointed the reasons even to give this Nobel Peace Prize to World Food Program. So let us see. World Food Program is a Rome-based organization, headquarters in Rome. It is an organization under UN and has been working, you can see, that has helped 97 million people in 88 countries each year, and they say that almost 10% of the world population is suffering from this hunger. They don't have enough to eat. 10% population as per World Food Program. They also say that given this pandemic, the hunger across the world could double, could get this problem of hunger could get doubled after this COVID-19 pandemic. So the committee has said that WFP has been a driving force in taking efforts to prevent use of hunger as a weapon to create war and conflict, as it has been done in countries like Yemen, Syria, or in that Arakan part of Rakhine state, Rakhine state of Myanmar, where this problem of Rohingyas have been created. So at all these places which are kind of suffering from hunger, they have, even in Somalia, countries, poor African countries like Somalia, people are given weapons and money in exchange of the work they do. Okay, so they have been given food. So they have been these kind of programs which are being utilized for creating violence in the world, creating instability, right? So efforts of World Food Program in providing free food to these people is definitely towards creating peace in the world. because when the needs of food of people are satisfied, they won't go get attracted or tempted to these kind of violent creating tendencies, right? So it has been estimated by the World Food Program that there will be 265 million people starving this year. So this peace program has the peace award has been given under the reason that it is a kind of call for international community to not underfund the World Food Program, so that they can ferry their services, humanitarian and health services, for on a larger scale, right? So this is all about feeding more people, providing more services, so that world could be a better place to live. Okay, the peace and happiness could be there. So next topic is all about China. China and Sri Lanka. So it is about Sri Lanka. So recently there was a high level visit of Chinese foreign minister and a delegation, Chinese delegation, high powered delegation from China visited Sri Lanka. Okay, so Mr. Gotabaya, president of Sri Lanka, he said that he is expecting China style development for Sri Lanka. This very statement shows that Sri Lanka is now again moving under the grab of China, as it did earlier when Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa was the president, right? Now then came Ranil Wickremesinghe, who kind of stabilized the condition. But now, upcoming of Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa again, he has now again become the Prime Minister after his SLPP party has won with majority, 2/3 majority. Now they are again going under this grab of China. Let us see what they have said. The Gotabaya Rajapaksa on Friday said that China style development model for Sri Lanka they have been seeking after, and they are trying to imitate or cater greater investment and a larger market from the Asian giant. They are kind of trying to create a niche for themselves in China itself. Okay, in China. So they have plans to recommence the discussion on Sri Lanka-China free trade agreement. We know that SAARC countries have this free trade agreements. So this FTA could hurt Indian sentiments, because we are having an FTA with Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka having FTA, and rule of origin norms are still not very much clear. So Chinese products could indirectly come to Indian market this way. Also, China is the Hambantota port has already been taken by China on 99 years lease. The Sri Lanka is already under this loan agreement problem, right? So China, what Sri Lanka is saying, they are saying that they are swiftly trying to complete the China-backed Hambantota Industrial Zone port city in Colombo, and $1.4 billion China's project under this Belt and Road Initiative. Even recalling that his past visit, he has been Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa have 13 times visited to China. You can see the closeness increasing between both the countries, right? So he is seeking the massive development, same as in their rural China. He also wants such development in rural Sri Lanka. He wants to improve the living conditions of the people living in outskirts of cities in Sri Lanka, right? And the delegation of Beijing is being claimed as goodwill gesture by the Chinese Communist Party, and China has been claiming that they will support Sri Lanka in international forums like UNHRC. We all know that Sri Lanka is is being targeted because of the war crimes they committed during that in the Tamils, right? That Tamil clash was there. So now coming to debt trap. So Mr. Rajapaksa has said that the delegation, Rajapaksa told the delegation that they wish that this debt proof would not be the reality. They would disprove this debt reality, and have also asked for kind of delaying the loan repayments, right? They have also sought China's help in improving the living standards of people, and China has sanctioned $500 million loan to help Sri Lanka. But see here, one more important aspect, that Sri Lanka has sought from New Delhi, that is from India, they have sought loan moratorium. But no such demand has been done with China. Instead, they have only demanded from them to reduce the trade deficit. So Indian government should rethink on the moratorium if they are providing any to Sri Lankan government, because they might be misusing the funds from India to increase their prominency with the China. So we must be worried of the China card played by our neighbors, right? Now, this article I am not going to take you in much detail. Only I want you to give some information that almost in every country now this problem is going on. Protests have been going on, largely given the world economic slowdown. So when economic slowdown is there is job loss, and when job loss is there, people suffer economically and they come out to streets against the government. So this has been there throughout the history. So this has been happening again. We have given you examples of Venezuela, this Belarus, countries in Africa, and now this one more example is of Kyrgyzstan, where people are protesting. The opposition is saying that elections have been rigged, and there are many such things. Okay, the capital is Bishkek. This is, I want to tell you that the capital here is Bishkek. This is the only Central Asia's democracy. Okay, and this kind of protests have occurred previously also in this country with the name Tulip or Melon Revolution respectively in 2005 and 10. And this country has got strategic importance. Even India wants to create en route to this Central Asian countries through Iran, okay, Iran and Afghanistan. How this is strategic location for Russia, this is kind of their backyard, so they want to make it under their sphere of influence. For China, it has got vital for the links to be created under Belt and Road Initiative. Then for US, it has acted as its logistics base, okay, especially during that Afghan war. But now the base has been shut down in 2014 by the US Parliament. And Russia has been interfering so that the stability of their choice could be created in Kyrgyzstan. That's all I wanted to tell you. Okay, nothing much. So, okay, so with this, I would now like to say thank you, friend. And we have completed here. I hope I have contributed well to your knowledge today. Thank you and have a nice day.